Yo, what's good? We are back. Episode number 168, the Damage Per Second podcast. I am your host, Slow-Mo Backslide. I almost called myself Gamer Forte. Good grief. I am not Gamer Forte. Because Gamer Forte have been dropping videos, and that's not me so far as of this week. Gamer Forte is over there. What's up, man?
What's up, though, man? Yeah, I mean, I could share the name with you for a little while. You know, it's you know, I don't know.
You sound a little. I probably should have said something before we got started. No, your mic sounds weird.
What do you mean?
And there's an echo.
What do you mean it sounds weird?
Your mic sounds weird, man. It doesn't sound like your usual mic. Okay, and Big Mike says you got feedback as well. Yeah. I probably should have said that before we got started. Yeah, there we go. That sounds like your usual.
What about now?
$500 mic. Yeah, you're good. You're good now.
Oh yeah. For some reason, it defaulted to my headphones. Oh, that's why it was coming through my headphones for some reason.
Oh my gosh, that's like that. Your headphone mic is horrendous.
It's the same thing. It's the same one you got.
But what headphones?
Steel series.
I'm not using those. I'm using the Sony Enzones earbuds.
Those are even worse, probably.
Probably, but no one will ever know because I don't use the microphone in them.
Let's just hope one day that your Discord doesn't default to default settings and pick up your headphones.
Well, hasn't happened yet. Probably because I checked that beforehand. Anywho.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that, you know, I wasn't sounding like my amazing, glorious self.
Yeah, I ain't say all that. I just said you didn't sound like you were using a $500 microphone.
Dude, there is a collab that's going to be coming that I took a part of. I can't wait for the community to see it. It's pretty funny.
A collab?
Yeah. A collab.
You can't talk about who was with, so you just dropping hints on things that you're not going to expound upon?
No, because I don't know when they're going to drop it, and it was fun, and I hope to do it more. I had fun doing it with them. So
okay, I hope it's with somebody I like.
It is.
You know, I don't like many people, so.
You like a lot of people. You just are jaded towards a lot of people.
That means I don't like them. I tolerate them.
Well, exactly. Well, I just thought about how you said that. It's like, yeah, I just tolerate them, but I don't really like them. I just put on this quote unquote persona.
Oh no, I don't put on any persona whatsoever. I think most people know that they're just tolerated.
They're just
But most people understand that. Anyhow, let's get into the show.
Big Mike said you just need to get a proper mic.
He said, "Bruh, you all need," is what he said. So he was adding you in there. My mic is just fine.
Guess what? That was before we had to switch over to, I had to switch over to what the God himself graced me to be able to afford, this beautiful mic that I'm sitting in right now. It's a great mic, man. You should pony up for it.
I'm good. I
mean, there's a lot of ponying going on though, but okay.
Yeah. I don't pony for anything. What? That is not a horse. That was not. I don't know what that was. Anyway, let's see. Shout out to Big Mike in the chat. Rails there 00. Mickey dies a lot. Spider 13. Blade X. The Great B Rich. And yeah. Appreciate you guys for coming through. You guys are awesome. Hope you guys having a fine Thursday night. Feeling all right. And we're gonna get into this show, man. Forte, what you been up to, man? What you been doing? Besides the videos you've been dropping.
Well, like you said, video making. Was working with somebody on a video yesterday that will come out on their channel. That's why I wasn't on Brap last night. I was just listening to y'all while we were doing that, not recording, but editing and stuff. And I saw that shout out to Cognito was on there with y'all. That was a good conversation that y'all were having.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Outside of that, I jumped back into I didn't realize that I haven't played Battlefield in like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So I jumped in and played like.
Yeah, because you've been playing Call of Duty with me.
Well, yeah, I've been playing Call of Duty with you. And then I realized, and then when I jumped into the game and realized, I was like, this is a way better game than Call of Duty.
I don't know about that.
No,
don't know about that. You ain't got the movement.
I don't have to worry about people doing stupid things in that game, like shooting my pinky toe and I'm dying, or quick scoping somebody where it makes absolutely no sense. And I don't see as many cheaters in Battlefield. I understand that Call of Duty is a more popular game, but it's still
cheaters in there.
Yeah, there are, and I do see them every once in a while, but I feel like I see them all the time in Call of Duty.
I think it's the popularity. It's the popularity.
It is the popularity of the game.
That makes it so.
And guess what? I guarantee you, if they took a survey of all the people that cheat in games, I guarantee you they'll say Call of Duty is the one they cheated the most if they actually didn't get caught.
I bet you
there's more Chronos Maxes and Zens and Matrixes hooked up to people's controllers.
What's the Matrix?
It's like a Zen, but it has like 4 inputs on it, so you can like hook up 4 controllers to 1 input, and you can have a keyboard, a mouse, a controller, and other inputs hidden to the other one, and they all read as one, so you can switch between each of them simultaneously.
Huh?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro.
What? Like, what? It's just like they come up with something every other week. Like I thought I was at least aware of all the different ways that people cheat in these games. Shout out to Taz as well. I mean, me and Taz been playing Call of Duty, and I feel like every other night we're like clipping some dude blatantly cheating. Like, it's so blatant. It's like, come on, that's not even remotely possible by a human being. But it is what it is, man. I'm kind of resolved myself to just
I don't understand
accept
how you
it.
even deal with it, bro. I
just accept it, man.
No, but see, that's the thing. I stopped accepting it a long time ago. Like,
but you can't do nothing about it. It's not like you can be like,
from it. I just don't play it.
You can't, like, there's cheating in every competitive game. Everyone that name one, there's cheating in it. It's like you can't avoid it.
Yes, dude. I love. This is the thing. I love, and we talked about this. I love Destiny's multiplayer. I love the gunplay. I love the gameplay. I love all of it. But I got tired of playing just PvE because the PvP part of it was so toxic, because I felt like everybody was cheating. It felt like always was something going on that shouldn't have been going on. So I just decided not to go in there and play. And guess what? And to your enjoyment, me not playing PvP took the variety away from me, because I didn't have something to go do that kind of broke up the monotony of playing PvE content.
How was that my enjoyment?
Because you are happy that I don't play Destiny anymore. It's like,
okay, yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're happy.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, because it was bad for you. It was very hurtful.
It wasn't bad for me, but it was just a simple fact that game I loved.
For you.
I loved everything about that game. But then when the cheating got out of control and I didn't want to play PvP, I just put the game down, and I put that game down, and it was one of my favorite games of all time. But you consistently and continually want to deal with Call of Duty and the people that run around with Zims.
Wait, it's because because I still dominate despite the cheaters. That's why.
Yeah, you do. And I won't take that away from you. But I have this mental block where I feel like I just can't get better because the moment I take the moment someone does a stupid thing and one shots me in my pinky toe when they look like they're running on walls and stuff, it's like disheartening in that game. But I play it because I love you and I love playing with you and Taz. So that's the only reason. So listen, just know that it's a lot of reluctancy that I play that game because I can't stand the Call of Duty gameplay. It's like, it used to be fun, but now that everybody is, the way that people play just makes it super not fun to me anymore. I don't know, just not fun. But I'll still keep playing it because I still have games where I can go off and once I focus in.
Lucius Augustus in the chat. Shout out to Lucius who was with us last week on episode 167. He says play more finals, Forte. Lucius, I would say there are cheaters in the finals as well as the devs not being able to figure out, where I feel like every time they do an update, they change the controller settings. It's just like, bro,
that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to have a consistent update for that game where I don't feel like when I turn it on the next day, it's a completely different setup. But the game's fun though. I will definitely say that game is really, really fun.
I'm showing some gameplay. Well, real quick, some housekeeping. I apologize on me not doing another stream of Final Fantasy 7 Remake recently. Hey, stop it. I will do one tomorrow and hopefully one each day this weekend to get that finished out and to get into. I could do intermission in probably one stream because it's like I think the quickest you could beat intermission is like 3 hours. So if I can do that, then I'll have it all completed for the series on the DPS channel. But I know I've said this before, so look, just bear with me. I'm working on it. But the reason why I am showing Borderlands gameplay is because I probably would get demonetized if I showed the Borderlands trailer that came out yesterday. Forte, did you see the Borderlands movie trailer?
I did see it, and I almost threw up. I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "How did we get to this?" I was like, "How did we take one of the greatest, loot and grind games ever, and melt it down to this?" How did it get to this point, Slow-Mo? It's bad, bro. I was like, yo, this ain't it.
Oh man, yo,
Randy Fisher had everything to do with this.
Oh man,
because if it was good, everybody would be clueless right now. Like, what's really going on? Randy must not have nothing to do with Borderlands anymore, because ever since Borderlands 2, he been trying to find the missing formula.
I think he has been the reason why the series has gone down, because the dude's kind of out there. I feel like a lot it's only so much of him that people can take, and their turnover.
Years old now.
I don't know how old he is, but he's too old for his.
That's what he is.
He's too old to be doing magic tricks on the stage and stuff. That's what he's too old for. But look, the issue is that I think Randy has, and this goes for the whole Borderlands IP. I think that the IP has been damaged severely due to high turnover with a lot of the really great talent that they had there. And I don't know, man. Like I don't know if it's recoverable for them. I don't know how Borderlands 4 is going to turn out. I don't even know what it's going to look like, considering how Tiny Tina Wonderland turned out, which I didn't particularly care for. But back to this movie, I was immediately like, nah, fam. When I was immediately like, nah, fam. When look, I like Cate Blanchett. Okay, I think she's an awesome actress, and I think she's
amazing.
Her resume is impeccable, but she is also twice the age of the character that she's playing. And when when she said that line at the very beginning of the trailer, "I hate this planet," I heard all of the 60 some years or whatever, how old age she is coming out. I was just like, yo, like Lilith is not this old. Lilith is in like her 20s. And it's just, Kevin Hart is trying to play a more like stoic character. And that's just not him. You know, he in most movies he just plays himself, and I don't know.
He ain't that short.
Well, Roland is not that right.
Not short.
Roland isn't short at all. It's just like it's the biggest miscast. The only good casting is Jack Black is Claptrap. That's the only good casting.
Yeah.
And look, he's nailing his part. Like I thought, I laughed in the trailer with the whole bullets, you know, and everything. And I thought that was pretty funny. But I think it's gonna be a big miss. It's gonna be a massive miss.
It looks like it looks like Mad Max going wrong. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's listen. The only thing that I will say is, at least they haven't desecrated the remains of Borderlands 2. If they gonna do it to Borderlands 1, because Borderlands 2, if that was Maya that they did that to, I have a huge problem. Then I'll be like, bro, we got to make sure that woman is perfect. We got to make sure who cast for her is perfect. You know, God rest her soul, because she died at the end of one of the other ones. But
spoilers.
If it was Borderlands 2. Yeah, spoilers. But if this was Borderlands 2, I probably would be even more upset if they did something like this. But since it's Borderlands 1, I'm like, okay. I mean, I like.
But it's not even the full cast for Borderlands. So like, where's Mordecai? Where's Brick? Instead of Mordecai and Brick, they got Krieg the Psycho in it, and it's like, all right. I mean,
putting his to put what's the bird's name? Deathwing. I forget the name of the word. The bird.
Bloodwing.
Yes, that did Bloodwing. Yeah, so they have a way of having Bloodwing in there, so that's why they didn't bring Mordecai.
Well, I mean, just the bird. I mean, yeah, it's just the bird. CGI, like, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to, considering Bloodwing was a part of his ultimate. Yeah. Oh, man. Dorian Gray, don't give me hope. Hold on, Dorian Gray, don't give me hope. The rumor is they're bringing Maya back. First of all, it wouldn't make any sense. How she died to bring her back, and I just like that. That's my favorite Borderlands character. It was
stupid how they killed her.
It was pretty dumb. Look, the entire story for Borderlands 3 is pretty dumb. It's terrible.
Slow-mo, you want to hear the truth here? I never said this. After she died, I stopped playing the game.
I know you're not alone. A lot of people did that. A lot of people stopped playing after that.
Literally stopped playing. I was like, bro, you literally took my favorite siren and killed her. I'm like, no, I'm done. I didn't want to play no more. And I stopped playing.
I understand.
She looked so good with that hood on too. She was gorgeous. But yeah, man, this ain't it, man. I like the.
Did they have a release date? I didn't know this. You know, not that I care. I'm proud. This is definitely is going to be one of those when it shows up on Paramount Plus / Hulu / Netflix / name your favorite streaming service. I will watch it then, because I'm not watching it in the theater. You know, but.
Yeah, there was no release date on it. All I know is Kevin Hart playing Roland was what. And then actually, I love the man. Good God! And then she had those little bunny ears on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Tiny Tina. You know, they got an actual little girl. Like, I mean, that makes sense. You're gonna have to find an actual young actress to play her, but she doesn't have the voice. She doesn't have the voice. I don't know. Like I don't think that performance was like bad. It's just it's the Lilith and Roland castings that really just make me go roll my eyes.
What?
So hey, look.
Have Ashley Birch. This is the thing. They wanted to have. I can understand. They wanted to have Ashley Birch in the movie because she does play a very prominent character in the game, but she can't play that character because she's older and the other character.
Yeah, she's a grown woman. Yeah, the other character isn't even a teenager. So
isn't a teenager, so she can't play Tiny Tina. So it's like, and that's the other thing. It's like when you listen to Ashley talk, it's like, it's like you got to kind of disconnect yourself, especially if you played Borderlands. Like there's people that will have not played the game and will go see this movie just because it looks cool, and they're going to be like, wait a minute.
That's what they're banking on. They're banking on people who don't know. And this is typical Hollywood stuff, right? They're banking on people who don't play the game to go watch the movie, and they don't care for the fans of, because they just think that you're going to go see it regardless because you're a fan of it. They don't care whether they're like appealing to you or not, you know? So shout out to JD Gamer with the $2 super chat, says, hey Forte.
Yeah, what's up, JD? Hopefully you got your nerves in order. Let me tell you, JD came into my store today. Shout out to him. He's getting married.
Congratulations, JD.
He went out and got the ring for the wife over the course of, I guess, either today or over this week. And let me tell you, this man was he was so nervous because I asked him what's going on, how's it going, and he started picking at his nails. He's like literally, and I'm looking like, you know how you just sit there and I'm working and I look at him, I was like, what are you doing? And he just kept fidgeting like he needed to mess with something. And I was like, what's wrong, bro? And he was like, man, I'm a little distraught. You made me talk about it. I'm like, he's like, I said, what, because you're giving up everything? And he's like, yeah, man, he said, yeah, I'm gonna miss it. And I'm saying, like, bro, you are literally tweaking out. Like, he literally went through a not a full mental breakdown.
Do I want to know what it is? What is he gonna miss?
Well, listen, man. You what you did in high school and in college. You know, the things that you did, those type of things.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, look, man. You give it all up. You need to have that life firmly in the rearview mirror when you decide to make this decision. You shouldn't be, JD, I'm just letting you know, right? Like, you shouldn't be talking about how you're going to miss
well, he didn't say
things, right? Like, you need to have that pass you, sir.
Well, in his defense, he didn't say he would miss those things, but when I'm looking at him, I can see it in his eyes. I'm like, bro, you all right? Because but no, it was fun. But shout out to him, man. He gonna make that woman really, really proud. He's one of those guys that really, really likes to go out and take care of and stuff like that. So she gonna be good. And he gonna be good too. So we appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the super chat as always. Oh, he actually wanted to come on the show, but I would say because our rundown was so freaking long today, because he wants to talk about all the Xbox, all that Xbox stuff that's going on. So we got to definitely get you on the show in one of these next couple of weeks so we can talk about it. Because JD, he all about that Xbox power right now.
Yeah. Good luck with that, JD. I think. Oh
my God! Here you go.
I think your marriage is going to be far more successful than what Xbox is doing right now. But anywho, we gonna move it on. We gonna keep it moving, right? Borderlands looks like garbage. But good luck to them.
Oh man.
Next, let's kind of get it. Well, that was a topic that I didn't have space for. Borderlands, but it's kind of a little bit of a mini topic. List. I know. But another one is that come on, help me. What was I?
PSVR.
Oh yeah, PSVR. PSVR 2 has been announced in the PlayStation blog to be coming to PC, and this is supposed to be happening later this year. And no it's actual timetable or date or anything, but it's supposed to happen later this year. And what, from what I saw, like what we saw is that MetaQuest 3 has been like bodying it, and when it comes to sales,
95 to 5%.
Yeah, like that's
if not worse.
And everyone, look, I'm not into VR. I tried it, and then I said it's not for me, so I don't indulge in it. But everyone that I have seen that has a PSVR 2 has said that great hardware, great technology, absolutely awesome device. And as I always say, because even though I don't indulge in VR, I do know the technology of it, and what that headset does. It's price appropriate. People were saying, "Oh, it's too expensive." Yeah. No, it's not. It's actually cheaper than what comparable devices are priced at. Like it's better than the Valve Index in some areas, and that's a $1,000 headset. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
No. Just to go against. I'm not to go against it because you are right, but I do think a lot of people. And there were some people that thought it was overpriced for what it was, but I think most of the conversation came back to it was overpriced for the point that it wasn't a standalone unit. Like you had to have a PlayStation, which raised the price to over $1,000 if you wanted to have it, which looks like it's about to get rectified today. Well, not today, but this year. So now,
you're still going to need a PC to connect to it in order to get it to work.
But it's more in tune for a person to have a VR and a PC hookup than it was for a person to go out and feel like they would have a PlayStation for it. And it makes no sense to me. But the biggest thing with PlayStation is it's like with Xbox, but not on the same level. But it's like in the same realm. PlayStation put out a beautiful piece of hardware. A lot of people bought it initially because of the hype. There are a lot of games coming on the system because they're talking about games. I mean, if you think about every PlayStation State of Play that came out, they all had something with PSVR tied to it. The problem is the adoption rate of people that are attaching to each VR unit is abysmal. Like people aren't buying games for it.
But they don't have it. That's the problem. Is it doesn't have compelling software.
Exactly. You also don't have backwards compatibility to PSVR 1 games. Yeah, go ahead.
Not having compelling software, people don't buy your hardware. is that an interesting dynamic? Like it seems like that's something that like some other companies may need to take note of. Anyway, continue.
But also, fear the thought of the fact that compelling software will make a hardware sale, but when a company has compelling hardware that isn't making software sale, they find a way to make that either software or that hardware compatible with something else, and that's what you're seeing with the PSVR 2.
What if the software really isn't that compelling?
The software. That's what the thing is. I think the software is way more compelling on the PC play because there's a lot more development and a lot more risk taking when it comes to the VR scene on PC. Because a lot of people are willing to there's really no quality control on PC when it comes to that. It's a little bit, but you'll also have access to like some of the games that Valve makes. Like right now you can't play it like Half-Life Alyx and stuff like that on on a Steam Deck. I mean, not a Steam Deck, on a PSVR. I don't even think games like Beat Saber and stuff are on there. That's still only inside of the Oculus system and stuff.
Beat Saber is on there. Beat Saber's on everything. I think Beat Saber's got to be the most sold VR game out there.
Because it's great. I played it on my when I finally opened up my Oculus my Quest Pro. I was like, yo, this is insane. But then you'll end up you'll feel like you're drenched in a bathtub after you're done playing because you sweated like 10 pounds off while you're playing. So I think in general, I want to hear what you got to say about it, but I think in general, it's a really, really good move that they are opening this up a lot of it. This is back to what the CFO and Hiroki Tohoki said about just wanting to open up the borders and stuff. The biggest thing comes back to they needed to either find a way to spend less money or make more money. So they don't want to completely sacrifice the appeal of making the PlayStation the most appealing system out there and the most important thing out there. But in order to do that, you either got to make your software and your accessories and everything more compatible with other things, and that's what they're doing. Like right now, you talk about you're using the PC earbuds on a podcast right now. PlayStation was more centralized to saying all this stuff is for our PlayStation ecosystem, geared for PlayStation, but you could kind of use them in a PC sense. Like that's how it was with the Pulse headsets. They had PC functionality for the PS4, but it really stood out on the PS5. So you weren't even getting all the features on a PS4 on a PC that you would get on PS4. Now you see them going full blow and saying, or pause. You see them saying going full with everything that they're doing, like full compatibility with a DualSense controller or a DualSense controller for all of their games and stuff on a PC versus where that stuff was only native to just the console version. So they're making the experiences are the same. And now they're saying, okay, so if we're going to bring this stuff over, we need to make as much money off of it as possible. That means we got to make the experience pretty much the same as PlayStation. So I like the move, and I think it's going to do really well. At this price point, it's an affordable VR. I mean, the only thing it doesn't have is standalone connectivity like the Quest 3 has. You could play it without having a PC at $499, so that is still going to be the cheaper input. But from everything I read on these specs, it's literally almost probably in some ways better than the Oculus Quest 3. It has better resolution, a faster processor. It's a better VR in my opinion in so many ways. It just doesn't have that ability to be able to go on the go and play games natively right on the headset versus the PSVR is more powerful, but you have to hook it up to a PC to be able to take advantage of that. And then when you go with the Oculus, you can get a little bit more power out of it if you hook that up. And then at that point, it's kind of a stalemate. So it's really interesting to see what they do with that. I hope it works out because I think competition in that space is always needed, but it's always going to be a niche market because most people don't care about VR.
But before I get into JD Gamer Super Chat,
oh, he got another one?
Yeah. Before I get into that, I think this is might be a little too late for the PSVR 2 going to PC. Okay. This is something that they should have did at launch.
Is this a mod, bro?
What are you talking about?
Is this a mod for what? Is this like what are you? Is that
what are you talking about?
For Cyberpunk? What is this I'm looking at? Is this a mod? I knew it. So remember, okay, the chat's probably like, what the heck is going on? So look, chat, here's the story, right? I've been trying to get Forte. I've been messing with Forte. And I've been trying to get him to upgrade his GPU. He has a 3070 Ti, and he's saving up for a 5090. And I'm like, I was like, you need to see Cyberpunk with ray trace overdrive on. You need to see how beautiful this game is, and I can play it at 60 frames per second locked on my 4080 Super with everything turned on. And it's like, that's just it. Like the game looks better than any game that's out there, in my opinion. And he's like, I ain't never going to know because I ain't going to ever look. I'm not looking at nothing. I'm just like, okay. You got me. I ain't gonna lie.
I was saying to myself, I'm going to record some gameplay and I'm going to put it in the gameplay footage section, and he going to see it, and I ain't going to say a word. I'm just going to wait. And he's like, is this a mod? It's not a mod. It's just the base game. And it's mods out there that can make it look even better.
Okay, you still ain't about to give me the upgrade, but this looks really good. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking at this. I was like, this is a mod, right? This game don't look this good when I normally watch it.
The game is ray tracing in Cyberpunk is transformative, and path tracing makes it look even better. Like it's more realistic lighting, whereas with the ray traced on psycho settings, it looks like it's too like reflective and too much lighting. It doesn't look real, you know. But path tracing makes it look better, even though it's super demanding. Like if you got a AMD GPU, just don't even bother. Like it's just it ain't happening for you. But anyway. I just had to do a detour there because that was funny. The reason what was that? Okay, Quest 3. The PSVR 2 came out before, released before the Meta Quest 3, and I feel like that would have been a perfect opportunity for them to go to PC, because it would have been, as far as the technology goes, above far and away the best VR experience that you could get, you know, price for dollar, like for value. And it would have been perfect for them. But now that Quest 3 is already out, that's selling like crazy. The market they would have been selling to, because like it's still a nascent market. VR is not a massive market. It's a nascent market, and I think that I agree with you. The PSVR 2 is overall likely a better headset when it comes to the features it has and its power. But the problem is that it's not so much better than the Quest 3 that I think enough PC gamers would be like, I'll get both, or I'll get this one too, especially if they already bought a Quest 3. And that's why they should have released it at the same time on PC as they did on PS5, and they should have opened up the store, work with Meta, try to get Meta's store in there to get yourself more games, you know, that a lot of people are playing. But I think the reason why that they didn't do that was more along the lines for what they planned on doing on PC altogether. I think they're coming out with PSVR 2 on PC later this year, because I believe, it's not nothing I heard or anything, but I believe they're going to launch the PlayStation app, which is definitely in development. They're going to launch that later this year. And so they want to kind of control the storefront. And get all the games that people, if someone's going to get PSVR 2 on PC, they want you to basically be getting your games for that through their app, and not say Meta's app or anyone else's app. They want it to all go through them. So that's why I think they did that, but maybe that's just me.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
To JD Gamer Super Chat, shout out to him for the $5 Super Chat. He says, panel, do y'all agree someone is definitely going to hack the PSVR 2 to work with the Xbox as soon as they firmware upgrade it to work on Windows? I don't think so, JD. I think if that was something that people were looking for, or there was an interest in doing that, they would have did that with the Quest 3. I think the Quest 3 would have already been hacked to work with an Xbox. If that was something that, I'm not saying it's not that it's impossible. I don't think that's the case. I just think
if you have a
someone doing
zealous, I think if you have a very zealous person that really just wants to stick it to, like, embedded in this whole console thing, which I don't think is the case. If you had somebody like that had the technical savvy of doing it, then I can see it happening. Just so they can say, they could do a picture or a video or whatever of them playing you know, with the VR hooked up to their Xbox or whatever, and being able to like show that they're showing big picture mode with the headset on or something like that. I can see somebody doing that if they had the technical savvy of doing it, but like you just said, if they ain't do it with MetaQuest 2 or 3, they ain't gonna do it with PSVR 2.
Yeah, I just don't think that the desire is there from the people who do those kind of things.
Plus, there's no native games for Xbox that will take advantage of it. So
right. Like you see stuff like we just recently saw that a group that works on like stuff with Google was able to hack and modify the PlayStation Portal to run a emulator of PSP. So like that's the kind of stuff that people seem to be more interested in doing, and more than likely like they're going to keep messing with the Portal until they can turn it into somewhat of a cloud streaming handheld or something like that, right? Like that's just it's going to happen eventually. But
dude, the ground textures in this game look incredible.
Yep, man. Go ahead and get that 4080 Super, man.
Look, I'm looking at you doing this on purpose. You looking at the ground, trying to show off the ground. looking at the individual cracks in the ground and the cement as you transition to the more softer and more flat surfaces, and you can see you can even see the differences in the differences in the surface on the concrete.
This isn't even the best that Night City at Cyberpunk looks like, because it's not at night. It looks, because this is during the day. It looks great during the day. At night, it looks even better. And then when it rains, oh my god! Like, I'm telling you, look, man, you just
no, hold on tight.
And so we're talking about NVIDIA GPUs. NVIDIA actually released something today that kind of shocked me, and something I've been looking forward to, which is an app to replace GeForce Experience. And, you know, as a content creator myself and Forte as well, like we were kind of rely on the NVIDIA's tools to help us be able to do the stuff that we do. Like I recorded this gameplay that you're seeing right now with GeForce Experience's Shadowplay, which is their recording software. And it is, I've said this before, it's by far the best software out there for recording, because like the level of quality is almost lossless. It's almost at like the same level of what you're seeing. The only real limitation to the Shadowplay with GeForce Experience is that it's the maximum frame rate you can do is 60 frames per second. But it has other limitations, and it hasn't been updated in years. And I mean, I thought NVIDIA had just completely forgot about it. I thought NVIDIA just didn't care about those things, especially when they're working on AI and so many other things. But I was wrong. They look like they had been working on something in the background, and this NVIDIA app is in beta. But what it does is what it will do is it will combine GeForce Experience with the NVIDIA control panel, which is the NVIDIA control panel is awesome. It gives you the ability to kind of manipulate how the PC interacts with your GPU, allows you to turn certain features on for games that may not quite have them natively put in there. All kinds of great stuff. It allows you to really kind of manage and configure and maintain everything that you want to do in gaming as well as content creation through that. And so far this beta does not replace the control panel, but it does replace GeForce Experience. The UI, I tested it out today extensively, and the UI is much better. And I do like the fact that when you do driver updates, they give you a description of everything that they're really doing, like the major and minor changes to your drivers. But Forte, the recording, it still sucks, man. It's actually in some ways it's worse than what it was before.
What bitrate are you recording at?
the highest bit rate they allow, but it's not really the bit rate that's the problem. So I have something that I've long had an issue with is the fact they don't allow you to switch. If you have multiple monitors, they don't allow you to switch which monitor you want to record the game. Even if
it's always your main monitor that it does.
Right. Even if you put the game on a secondary monitor, GeForce Experience Shadowplay will not record that other monitor, which is silly.
Just and they monitor one. That's it.
And they did this update, and it still doesn't do that. Something that's so basic. It's like a basic feature that it's not done. There were times they revamped the way the statistics show of like your GPU and your frame rate and all that stuff. And that now I will say this, that none of that stuff shows in game, like if you're recording, of course, and that's always been like that with theirs. But it's just like sometimes it wouldn't have the stats. It's in beta, so I can't really be all that critical of it, but it needs some work. It needs some work. But like the things that they're talking about here, they're talking about RTX dynamic vibrance and RTX HDR, which are both AI powered tools that will kind of provide HDR to games that don't have HDR in those games natively. And it will also, like the HDR dynamic vibrance will allow you to kind of play around with the visual settings of a game as well. With it's, you know, some games that may be just kind of older and don't really have a lot of the graphical settings that we see today. So I think it has some potential there, but so far it ain't that great. Are you gonna give it a whirl, Forte, or are you gonna stick with what you currently got?
I kind of want to stick with what I got. I mean, but I do use it, because it's like the most reliable way to capture video on PC, unless you just happen to be able to capture through a secondary capture card. And most likely that means you have a secondary PC that you kind of play on one and you capture on the other one. Most people aren't doing that. So Shadowplay is literally the easiest way to kind of do that. So I probably will try it. I always usually let, like, when they come up with something new like this, let like the first couple of iterations of it, couple of patches come out before I try it. Because the biggest thing about having like these beta firmware patches and stuff, it can mess up more than just what is actually installing on there. And then you got to go back and do a complete wipe of, I mean, it's easy to do now because you have, you know, tools like Revo tool or something like that, where you can go back and just delete all the remnants of it. But most people don't know how to use stuff like that without damaging their PC and deleting the wrong thing. So I'll definitely use it to be able to see exactly what this looks like and how it performs and everything. But it might be something I won't attempt to do until maybe the second or third firmware update that they do for it. Because, and that's one thing, the one thing I will give NVIDIA props for, they work pretty fast when it comes to these type of updates and stuff. When they release something, they are very, very good at updating it as soon as possible. They're not really waiting. It's not like something they're waiting on to actually, you know, update when it comes to like a game, because their certification moves pretty fast when it comes to like updating the overall stability of your system. I think that's the only thing that other really worried about, because nobody's got a chance to test how does the does the overall capture degrade your overall performance, because that's another thing with NVIDIA with Shadowplay. It impacts it, but very minimally. How is the impact with the new update?
I only in one game did I notice my performance was worse after using changing to the NVIDIA app instead of GeForce Experience, and I wasn't recording.
But your performance is already so high. This
is a high demanding game. This was in Cyberpunk. So like I know, but I also with the switched to NVIDIA, the NVIDIA beta app, I did update my firmware as well. So I don't know if it was the app that was causing issues, which this is part of the reason why a lot of PC gamers just choose to not have GeForce Experience or any NVIDIA software installed outside of the firmware driver at all. They just get their drivers from the website, and they don't have any of the other extra stuff in there at all except for control panel. But I think it might have been the firmware update. So I don't know.
Okay.
Like I haven't done enough testing because I haven't had the time. But it's something to look forward to testing and playing around with in the future. Shout out to JD Gamer with the $2 super chat again. Says, do you think the Sony app fails like most others? They definitely have an uphill battle on PC. The PC environment for console gamers that don't understand, like it's Steam and then it's everyone else. Like Steam is the storefront, the launcher that PC gamers use, but it's also not impossible for you to succeed without Steam. But typically the games that do that don't have a launcher at all. I mean, if they do have a launcher, it's just for like a massive game. For example, Riot Games. Riot Games is probably the biggest developer on PC at the moment. They do League of Legends, they do Valorant. They got some really, really massive games, and those games are doing close to, if not over, 1 million concurrent players on a daily basis. But those games aren't in Steam. Fortnite's not in Steam. Fortnite's in Epic Game Store. That does, crazy numbers.
If you bend the knee at one point, think about how Call of Duty was exclusive to the BattleNet for a long time, and even they couldn't even keep Call of Duty out of Steam.
Right. So yeah, that everyone kind of goes back eventually. At one point, Ubisoft had all their games in their launcher, so did EA, and they both eventually just said, yeah, this ain't working for us.
People ain't buying enough games in our store to make this feasible.
Right. And so, excuse me. So eventually they all come back. But I do think when Sony launches their PlayStation app on PC, I think they will pull back on the games that are going in Steam. And we've seen in the past where publishers have outright removed their games that were already released from the Steam store. Like, you can still see the store page, but you can't buy the game. And that might be something that they may look into as well, because I don't think PlayStation is expanding into PC to collaborate. They're there to dominate. Now, will they? Probably not. But in order for them to survive without Steam, they need to have one of these live service games they're working on. But like Helldivers 2 is doing great right now, but it's still like, it's a live service game and this hasn't been out for very long. More than likely, they're going to need something else that really takes the PC community by storm, where you don't need Steam, where people don't care how they get the game. Website, trash launcher, whatever, they're going to do whatever it takes to get it. And PC gamers have proven in the past that if the game is worth it, they'll do that. Anything else you going to say before we move on, man?
No, I think you're right on. I think in general, everything comes back. It just mostly comes down to unless you are a huge, like me, what I mean huge, I mean the platform was built off of you. Like even BattleNet wasn't built off of Call of Duty. BattleNet was built off of Blizzard, off of those games. So that's why you don't really see any of those games that are on Blizzard, like the big ones, at least when it comes to like WoW and World of Warcraft stuff, because it was built on that ecosystem, meaning that game is going to probably just remain there, and that's the reason people are going to play it there. But like I said, Call of Duty, it's everywhere, so it's even in Steam. So I just think if PlayStation does do it, I do think they will get some pushback from gamers, but if they're consistent with it, people will migrate over just like they do everything else. They may not like it. You may not get everybody, but you'll get your own little community of people. If PlayStation wants to build an ecosystem like that where they get the full purchasing power of everybody that buys on their platform, I just don't think they would get any type of traction when it comes to third party stuff, because third party that's going to just live on Steam for the most part. People might just install it just like, you know, when it comes to PlayStation only titles. But I don't even know if that will work, honestly, because they already released their games on Steam. And once you gave people the taste of those games on Steam, they're going to be probably a little pissed off that you don't have them over there. And then at that point, they'll just be like, well, I don't need to play your game. So it's just kind of how it is with PC gamers.
Yeah, very fickle, but also a community that when they say they not doing something, you better believe they ain't doing it. when they speak with their wallet, they mean it. Other communities talk that talk, but they don't walk it the way PC gamers do. Moving on, we could talk about another game that's been kind of blowing up on PC, which is Helldivers 2. And Helldivers 2 is actually doing really good. They released a patch either late yesterday or early today, but the patch, what it does is it the patch has fixed some of the server issues. I don't think like so look, I played the footage you're seeing right now, and which I'm starting to see this footage was done with the NVIDIA app recording, and I'm noticing that it's not. I think because I had it set for 120 frames per second, that like on the stream it's not looking the way that I actually played it. It looks slower. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that Helldivers 2 had released a patch, and I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, but the patch, what it does is it stops people from just sitting in the game, because the game didn't have like a timeout for being idle for like say 10-15 minutes or something like that. Most games, live service games, kick you out at that point, and that's something that, hey, when Sony's still getting their feet wet with the entire live service game thing, that you don't realize that's something that you need. But because they weren't doing that, there were people who were trying to basically save their position in the very limited spots on these servers by sitting in the game, not turning their PlayStation or their PC off, and just kind of sitting in the game to keep themselves in and not having to go back and wait for a spot to get in. And now they've kicked all those people out. So I haven't played it tonight, which would be peak time for the United States, which has been the bulk of the issues that where people have been trying to log in and have not been able to. But I did play earlier today. A shout out to BG, Broken Games HDR. Me and him ran some missions today. This man's got like 60 hours in. He did the bulk of that back before the server issues really became a big problem. But dude's got like all this gear. He's like level 25. He's all like, hey, look, here's a turret. You can use my drone turret, that has a laser. I'm like, bet. You're just giving me stuff to use that I don't have any access to at my very small level. So but I'm having a good time with it. I think the game's definitely going to have some legs, because if from people who have played the first game, they know that certain things like mechs and vehicles aren't available, and they may be kind of drip feeding that into the game to kind of give it some extra life, so that not everything that people get into is there right off the break. But Forte, you played it briefly with me and Eric Jackson. Shout out to him and Ramon Terrell. What are your thoughts on Helldivers 2?
I think it's a phenomenal game, but I refuse to sit in lobbies and look at a screen for 45 minutes to 2 hours just to get into it. So as much as it's been fun, it was fun the one time I did play it. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to jump in there again. I lose all motivation when I sit here and I listen to you. Shout out to Trevor Birdsong, Ramon Terrell, and you and E. Y'all just sit there, y'all talk about wanting to get into the game, and next thing I hear is like, well, not let me in. Guess we'll try tomorrow.
Right.
I'm listening. I just sit there and I be hearing it. I be listening because I be having my ear pod in. So Siri be reading the DMs to me and I listen to it. And it just, you can even hear the frustration from people in the DMs saying, it's not letting me in. I guess we'll try tomorrow. I'm like, yo. So the fact that they actually did push out an update, which it's good. I like the fact that they're doing that. It just also just gets back to the problem. Why are these companies, and I understand why, but it's just more of a mentality. If you're going to release a game as a service, why are we limiting, like, why are we not prepared to have 500,000 people jump into your game? And that's probably more of an answer for you because you do networking and stuff like that, so you kind of not on the level that these games, you probably do on bigger levels than this.
I do very different things,
right?
Network wise. Some of the things I do are scale wise things that would be of this level, but not in this realm in gaming. But to what you're speaking on, that is correct. This is more than just server issues. I kind of suspected that this was the case, but their CEO on Twitter confirmed it, that there's some back-end code that needs to be updated to allow for more concurrent players to be in the game all at the same time. And I've dabbled in a little Python and C# coding, and I've seen in the past where just, people who have, I don't write it, but I know how to go in Visual Studio and make modifications. And I've seen where I've had to make modifications to get certain statistics and tables and stuff to accurately display correct data, simply because the person that created the code used the wrong integer. Right. Use the wrong method of telling the script to calculate this data, and that not necessarily the wrong one, but one that doesn't take into consideration numbers that are much higher than what you initially planned to actually have to display. And so if that, I can imagine on a much grander scale with much bigger code that you have to deal with here, where people are what Arrowhead Studios is looking at how they design this game, and with the expectation that they wouldn't have as many players as they currently have, and just didn't plan for that. And that's going to be something that Sony's going to learn as they continue to make these live service games, to make sure their studios are planning for the possibility of it blowing up, which you want. You want it to blow up, but you want to be prepared for when it blows up. Like you and I had talked about this, and I talked about Splitgate. Splitgate had its moment a couple years ago where tons of shooter fans were interested in playing the game, and they were trying to play it, but like when they launched on consoles, they didn't have the server capacity for all the people that were trying to play, and I think people look back at that and think that's the same reasons is the reason why Helldivers wasn't allowing people in, but it could be for various different reasons. With Splitgate, it was because they literally they were capped at 150,000 players, and they just couldn't bring anyone else in. And that was things that had to do with AWS, which is the Amazon's cloud service that they were using for their servers. But anywho, do you think this is, now that it's been fixed, I kind of wonder, I guess this question really isn't all that relevant, because I was thinking that if they didn't fix this, do you think it would have been a missed opportunity where people would have got sick of waiting and just would go play something else, and then they're not coming back?
I already think that that damage has already happened. I don't think it's unrepairable. I do think a lot of people that bought this game on a whim, because I think there's a lot of people that I have people. This is a funny thing. I have a lot of people that comes into the store. I wanted to say over the course of the weekend, not the weekend, over the course of this week, I probably had a good more than 20 or 30 people want to buy Helldivers, and it's not available because, you know, it's just not available anywhere because it's sold out everywhere. So I think there's still an opportunity for them to maximize on people that couldn't get the game right now because it's just not available physically unless they went home and bought it digital. Gamers are very resilient when it comes to willing to deal with technical issues in the game. We've been doing it for generations at this point. I just think it's at a point now where you got to just look at, like, what is we already know the content roadmap that is updated because they updated it. We know that there's a lot of things they're going to be doing, but what is it going to look like 3 months from now? So they have a chance to keep this going, but they have to be able to make sure that server stability is the number one thing. Because if a person can't play your game, most casual gamers that jump in on games, like think about Elden Ring. Elden Ring did so well because, first of all, it's a single player game, so there's really no server stuff that you have to really kind of deal with outside of the online connectivity and jumping to other people's worlds, which they did a really good job with the amount of people that were playing it. But that game does not appeal to about 60%, maybe 70% of the audience that actually went out and bought the game. But the reason that 70% bought it is because of the hype. So Elden Ring got so much love because of how the people were talking about it, how media were talking about it, how people's friends were talking about it, how people, when they were walking to a game store or just their friends online on PlayStation or PC or Xbox, wherever you were at, it got people to want to buy the game. PlayStation is experiencing that right now with Helldivers. But the only difference is this game isn't working as intended when most people want to play it. Can they fix that in enough time? Which means, and in my area, it's like the worst of times because everybody's kids are out of school this week. Like, there's no high school, there's no middle school, there's no elementary school. Kids are out on winter break. Everybody has a different winter break cycle. So people that wanted to play it, this is probably a good chance for them to jump in and play it right now in my neck of the woods. Now, like I said, it's not over because they could easily fix this, and once those server things are gone, it will be good. But it's good that they're making these updates and these changes. They just need to be very, very quick on the trigger because they already said we only need one that's going to take off for them. And maybe this one may not be the one that holds on long term, but this one can give them a blueprint and an understanding on what they need to do with the next one. And they kind of learn by repetition and how they identify what a live service game looks like and how the servers need to perform if a game does start to index in the direction that you want it to. It's all trial and error at this point. Bungie, as much as Bungie is helping them, they still are trying to figure out and understand it. Just like Bungie is. Bungie 9 years in, they're still trying to figure this out. So I think this is clearly. So, but I do think this is a great thing for them to like really, really look at. But I want this game to survive long enough on the merits of what it is now so they can take some type of lesson to the next live service game they get, because this could be the game. But it's a good chance that this isn't, and the next game could be, but they just need to learn along the way. So it's a good game. I want to jump in and play it with y'all. I just need y'all to tell me the servers are working good so I'm not looking at a screen, because, you know, I'd rather make a video than sit at a screen for 50 minutes, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. And I think that, like I said before, like this footage, even though, you know, thanks NVIDIA app for kind of like, it's on me for not double checking how it will run in OBS. OBS only allows up to 60 FPS and the recording is in 120. So it's the reason why it looks like I'm running in molasses. It's not how the game feels and plays, but
that's why you're supposed to capture it 60 frames per second, sir.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until later. I wanted to test it out. Anyway, whatever. Anyway,
I'm with you. At 4080 can't cure everything.
Yeah, it can't. You know, it can't. OBS, update your software, bro. Come on. No, I agree with you about Helldivers and you know, like in this being. Its success is great, but it's what is really teaching Sony on the back end that is going to really help their other games be successful. Mm-hmm. Not saying they all will have this the amount of success that Helldivers 2 is currently having. It's very possible that Concord and Fair Games come out between now and March of 2025 and bomb. They don't work, or they could be, you know, have some moderate amount of success. We don't know, but at least if they are successful, we could probably say that Sony would have learned from this experience to kind of make sure that they aren't hindering their own success.
Right.
All right. But
I agree.
Speaking of developers updating things, we had Square Enix pushed out an update to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo that's on PlayStation 5 to fix some of the issues that people were seeing with the blurriness of performance mode. And they did fix that, but not quite everything. There is still like sections of areas where things are still a little blurry. I think it's the limitations of consoles, honestly, and the game engine that they're making the game on. This is still Unreal Engine 4. It's not Unreal Engine 5, and there's a lot of things that you just can't do with Unreal Engine 4 that we are kind of getting used to now in 2024. All that said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is looking like a certified banger. Game of the year, kind of contender energy. Yeah, looking real nice, real scrumptious.
Yeah.
And you know a game's going to be good when the publisher is just like, you know what? You can go ahead and drop the embargo a week early. We don't care. when you got that kind of energy, you know it's about to be good. When you just like, I don't care. What? 2 weeks early? Sure. Yeah, I want y'all talking about how good my game is for 2 weeks before it come out.
Right.
That kind of energy. When you see that, you know the game's going to be good. And so far with the last time I saw it was like 117 reviews. The game was at a 93 Metacritic. It looks great, you know, plays great. It picks up where Final Fantasy VII Remake left off. Forte, is this I'm gonna ask this other question later.
Go ahead.
Would this be a game of the year contender? A nominee?
Shoot. Whew. Last one came out in what year was that?
2020.
2020. And it was not in the game of the year discussion.
Yeah, it was.
Weird. Was it? Was it a game of the
year? It was a nominee. It was a nominee,
yeah. Right, it was. I had to think about what else was that year.
It lost to like The Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2, yeah, okay. I mean, it's early, bro.
There are people saying this is the best Final Fantasy game Square Enix has done in years.
I mean, it should be. It's one of the greatest stories they ever told in Final Fantasy outside of maybe 6. It's like, and then I think the whole remake thing, and then it's a remake, not a remaster too. So I think that's going to be part of it. But if everything is shaping up the way that like I looked at some of these reviews and I told you I didn't want to look at anything about this game. That's why I haven't played the demo myself yet. But looking at those reviews and seeing what people are saying, I'm like, my God, this might be one of the
be careful
games.
be careful with some of the reviews that you look at, because apparently a few reviews, from what I was told,
spoilers.
Yeah, they spoiling stuff out here, man.
I only looked at a couple of them and they were perfectly fine. So I'm good. I don't need to know any more. The game, I mean, at this point, the game literally comes out in 7 days, so it'll be here before we know it. But yeah, I do think, you know, just to answer the question bluntly, yeah, I do think it's going to be in the Game of the Year conversation. The question mostly always comes back to what, depending on how they leave the story in this one, going into the third one is going to really like, because part of me wants to have a game where I know it's 3 parts, but I want to have a finite end to this version of the game, because this is a full game. I understand if we leave off on a cliffhanger or something like that, but I kind of wanted to be like at least something that was rectified in it. And I feel like if they could find a way to like close something significant in this version of the game, but we still have stuff to look forward to, you know, from the main, you know, storyline that's going on throughout Final Fantasy VII, then I think this game could actually win Game of the Year. But if they leave it on a cliffhanger, it's not, and people are going to be like, because, you know, cliffhangers really don't, it could get nominated for a Game of the Year. I just don't think it would win Game of the Year, because then at that point, people will look at it like it's not a complete game, because it was left so open, versus if you kind of close up some storylines, which they can't do, because this version of the game, depending on where they ended at, there's a lot of stuff that happened in Final Fantasy VII throughout the game, in the middle parts of the game, where you did see some significant things that happened and you ended some storylines and stuff, and then you continue with the rest of your party throughout some other stuff in the game. So depending on how they go about scripting out this overall narrative that they're doing, I absolutely think it could win Game of the Year, not just be nominated. I think it's going to get nominated no matter what, but winning it will come down to the way that they go about ending this version of the game compared to, you know, leaving it kind of open for interpretation.
Yeah. Is this the first 90 rated game this year? I don't know.
What else came out this year?
Well, I mean, a lot. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think.
Suicide Squad and Power World and Helldivers. Is in the 80s.
It's the first 90 for this year.
I think it is. I think it might actually be the first one. Yeah.
You know what it is? It feels like it's not the first of the year, because all the 90s hit in November, and they hit all in December. Like November and December, where you had the Mario hit in November. You had what was the game that hit in December that was a 90?
Rodimus says it's the third game to finish a 90 Metacritic.
Man,
I don't know what the other two are. I don't know what the other two are, but I don't know. Maybe Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Maybe that's one. Oh, Infinite Wealth. Yeah, my bad. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I think that might have been the first one actually. Yeah. I don't think Persona 3 Reload did those numbers, but it's fine. Tekken 8 as well. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I didn't. This is let you know, like I have Tekken 8, but I didn't even look at reviews for it. I knew I was going to play Tekken 8, so I just bought it. I didn't even look at reviews for that game.
So let's get messy for a moment.
Oh Lord, messy? Oh, that's
so
let's go.
Can we discuss how people will openly say they are happy Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush are being played by more audiences, but not this game?
Oh man.
I mean, some of the same people
not like this
that are saying, what's the problem? Shouldn't you be happy that Pentiment is being enjoyed by Nintendo Switch owners and PlayStation owners? Shouldn't you be happy that Grounded is going to be, played by people on the Nintendo Switch at 5 frames per second and 0 communication in a game that requires communication? Shouldn't you be happy about these things? And then 5 seconds later, I am enjoying my free copy of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth provided to me by Square Enix. I've been playing it for a full month and a half. It is amazing, and it's all exclusive on the PlayStation 5. Like, you sound like a damn infomercial. Like, hello? like do you not see the contradictions here? Do you not see how you sound? You sound like a hypocrite. Just, right. I mean, keeping a buck, you're championing exclusives while saying this other platform should give away all their exclusives. Like, am I out of bounds here, Forte? Should I not have said that?
No, you're right. And you calling out the hypocrisy that's happening out here. It happens on both sides, though. It's that's true thing. But I also, like I said, I also feel like there is this batter syndrome that's going on with people, where every little thing that happens with these corporations and what they're being told is affecting them not just once but twice and 3 times over. I'm like, yo, a lot of this stuff that people are hearing about are things that were discussed weeks ago, and I guess we're finally getting confirmation on a lot of stuff. So we're going to talk about that in the last. We're going to talk about that.
We definitely talking about that later.
We're going to talk about that in the last topic. But that's what I'm saying. It's just this.
Who made this game? Who made this game?
Listen,
it's made by which studios? Who studio? How come none of that is in the marketing? I don't know. Go ahead.
We ain't talking about that right now. We just saying that we want to put great games in great places where people can play some of the best games ever. That's what we talking about here. But no, you're absolutely right. People don't want to keep that same energy when it comes to like playing all these other games. But Final Fantasy, like I said, shout out to Sony for securing the bag, big enough bag so they could give it to Square Enix to convince them to put one of the few games that they have that would just sell like water running out of a faucet. That's what this game is. And this time they won't have the likes of COVID bogging. Think about that. They won't have COVID bogging down sales projections of this game, because you can actually like buy the game anywhere, buy it on the system, buy it in a store. When this released last time, it not struggled, but a lot of people really didn't get a chance to play it as soon as they wanted to, because the world was on lockdown. So there's a lot of different things that can happen with this game, and there's a lot of pre-orders that I have taken at the store for this. There's a lot of people that's super excited for it, but when people sit there and say, yeah, I'm happy that I can play these games, but yeah, you don't get a chance to play this, why? Because this is exclusive to my platform of choice. And I'm like, once again, congratulations to you, but good thing I have a PlayStation and don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's true. Very true. This is the reason why I own multiple platforms, so that I never have to worry about, this game is skipping my platform. But for the people who do deal with that, kind of unfortunate, But if you really want to play this game and you're really hyped for it, and I would say you probably should play Remake first. Play Remake on
this is the demo, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel sick.
Okay. Why?
Because look at your game. Okay, think about how you normally play the game, because what I was looking at your gameplay, and I was like, why does this look so choppy? And I thought about it. Go ahead. No.
This is. I recorded this today. I'm definitely going to roll my drivers back.
Yeah, this looks bad, bro. How choppy it is.
Look how slow everyone's moving. It is either something going on with OBS right now, because this isn't how I played the game. The same way that wasn't how I played Helldivers. It wasn't how I played the other what was the other game? Borderlands 3. I recorded all those things today.
Dog, I thought this was 30 frames per second for a second, bro. I was like, yo, is this really what the console version of this demo looks like? I might have to wait. No.
It's look, clearly, like with the other stuff that's been in my gameplay today, it's I thought it was the record, like the NVIDIA recording. I think it's the driver, because or it's just OBS itself, because it actually, it's probably OBS, because I used my Elgato capture card to record this off the PlayStation 5, so it wasn't even NVIDIA drivers.
My God, this is like moving at like quarter speed.
Yeah, I'm about to just grab the other gameplay I had.
No, because it literally, when I thought I was like demo, I was like, yo, is this how it, because I'm so used to watching you play it on PC, and it's so much fluid, like the fluidity is like amazing. Then I look at this and I was like, is this what console's gonna look like? I'm gonna be like slow-mo waiting 3 months.
I can't find the other gameplay. Oh well.
No, don't worry.
So yeah, like it's says
that's definitely not PC.
Yeah, this is OBS. This is OBS causing a problem. Thanks, OBS. Stupid OBS. Anyway, what was I about to say?
You can go to XSplit. I don't know if it's any better.
No, OBS is usually fine. This is the first time I've ever had this kind of particular issue with OBS, but it's I do wonder if it's because I'm streaming with the AV1 encoders. So maybe it is NVIDIA. Maybe I should have.
Wait, why are you not using NVIDIA encoders?
It's NVIDIA's AV1 encoders.
Well, the AV1. Why aren't you using the HVAC or?
Because the AV1s are better. I've been using AV1 ever since I got the 4080 Super. Everything's been fine.
Oh, okay.
But this latest update is so I can't change the encoder midstream. So
Got you.
I'll do some testing and I'll maybe do some private streams to kind of see how it looks and runs with different encoders, because it really actually it's going to be some. This is a whole that nothing to do with what we the actual daggone topic. I'll figure it out.
Well, this is just lets people know that PC isn't followable. So what happens.
So anyway,
let's talk about that subject you got up there on the screen.
What subject are you talking about?
The next topic.
But I mean, I have one more question on this topic.
Oh, you did? Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, so, answer your question. We can always talk about Final Fantasy.
Okay, so this game is
before you ask a question. I'm sorry. Did you see my tweet earlier today?
No.
The one about Mass Effect?
No.
Oh man, you got to look. Okay, well, ask your question and look up my last tweet. And
I can't do that while I'm hosting the show. Forte, what is your tweet about? You're the one who sent it. Tell me.
Oh Jesus. I said, because I want to read it verbatim. I want to read it verbatim because I was proud of myself. As a gamer.
Just give me the Cliff Notes version.
I said I did my gamer duty today by recommending one of the greatest games of all time in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They were looking for a good action open world RPG. How could you go wrong with this GOAT? Dude, I've never been so excited because the dude came into the store and was like, hey, it's really nothing to play. Nothing new, at least. And I was like, okay, what have you played? He said, man, I played pretty much anything. So we just started naming games. I named Dead Space. He said, no, I never played that. I said, yeah, that's a really good one. It did something like, I literally just came back around to, I said, did you ever play Mass Effect? He said, no, I heard about it. I heard it's good, but I never played it. I was like, bro, Dog, I think I talked this dude into the ground of how great this game is. You ever felt like you oversold something to somebody so strongly that you hoping that is as good as they to them as it was to you, and that they come back and tell you like, bro, you were right. I was gushing over this game, bro. And it was great. So I felt so good. I had to post on Twitter that I got somebody to buy Mass Effect. It was only $10 too for the whole trilogy. I love that game, Slow-Mo. Love it. But continue with what you were saying. That's it. I'm sorry for derailing you.
Yeah, because I mean, look, I love Mass Effect, but what they gotta do with Final Fantasy?
Nothing, because Final Fantasy still is.
So you cut me off to talk about this random tweet that
yes, because Mass Effect.
I thought this was related. I thought this was somehow related. It's just not. It's not. You just decided to derail the show for.
I did. Listen. The show can be derailed every once in a while. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. that great be rich. Best trilogy in any game that I played. Let's go. Bro,
okay. So last question about Final Fantasy Rebirth before we move on. The game is still running on Unreal Engine 4.
Yes.
Which is clear with some of the visual limitations that it has. And considering Square Enix developers are saying that the last part of this trilogy is at a similar point in development as Rebirth was when Remake launched. So it seems like they're on schedule.
Uh-huh.
It looks to me like the last part's going to be in Unreal Engine 4. And it took them about 3 years to release this game. 4 years to release this game. Are you really about to have the last part of this series, these great series of games running on Unreal Engine 4 in 2028? At the earliest 2027?
Sure are. Yep. I think okay, so let's okay, listen. I don't disagree with you. 2028, maybe 2020. Because it's not gonna come out no time. What has it been, 4 years since the last one? So it's probably gonna be 2028, 2029 for the next one. They already probably are working on the third part in conjunction, because right now they're just doing final touches. They're probably already hard at work on DLC, whatever the DLC add-on is going to be for this one, and already started preliminary work on part 3, meaning they're not going to convert the whole game engine over to Unreal 5 just for the final game, especially since that is right around the time that we're looking at a brand new console generation probably launching. It's going to end up being a cross-platform title that's going to be available on whatever the next Xbox and PlayStation 6. And you're not going to be able to see the huge advantages that the PS6 or the new system can do for it, because it's going to be hamstrung by the current generation titles that we have. So if you're not going to go all out with the overall look of what the new consoles are going to give, you might as well just leave it on the you might as well just leave it on what it's on. And I know you don't want to hear that, because I don't want to hear that. I know because you don't want to hear it, and I don't want to hear it.
It's going to look even more dated
by the time it comes out.
Right. Now this doesn't look like, this is fine. Because you can see them adding more detail to the environments and things like that, and it's better, right?
Right.
But it's going to come a point in time, like, there's only so much you can do on Unreal Engine 4, and I think the kind of things that people are going to be looking for in a game in 2028 are just not going to be possible with that game engine that's already outdated right now. It's going to be kind of like, hey, since you brought it up, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Although it didn't really hold back the Legendary Edition due to how BioWare developed it, but they used a modified Unreal Engine 3 game engine in order to do the remake. And it wasn't because that was a design choice. It was because they had no choice, because EA was not willing to budget for them to do a full transition to Unreal Engine 4. So I think it might be a mistake if they go with this route for the last game. Hopefully, and maybe I'm in a minority here, but hopefully Unreal Engine 5 is actually complete and by Epic by this time period, and the transition to move games over to Unreal Engine 5 is as they marketed it to be, because clearly it is not as simple as they said it would be. But we can move on now. Anything else that you wanted to say on this before we move out that's actually about the topic and not like, a random tweet that you sent earlier today?
Cloud's hair looks really weird as you're walking between these rocks right now. That's the only thing I'll say.
Hey, thanks Unreal Engine 3.
It looks really, it looks really, really weird. Is that Tifa? No, that's not Tifa.
That is Tifa. It's young Tifa. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was looking like that's not Tifa. That is Tifa. No, that's it. That's all I have. Let's talk about this next topic that got the internet. Well, not this part of it. It's a part of the Nintendo stuff that does, though.
Yeah. So, Nintendo Switch 2 was kind of leaked. Worst kept secret ever, and also leaked by Razer, who was doing accessories for it. That it was supposed to be coming out. I forgot the exact day, but in September of this year. Well, it has been known now. Nintendo has notified their partners, likely Xbox. I'm sorry, and as well as other third-party publishers, that the game that they're delaying the system to early Q1 2025. And actually, I shouldn't say early, because I think for what it has been said is that it might be March, but according to the sources, the delay is because they want games to launch alongside the console. Imagine wanting compelling games to launch with a new console. I thought you didn't need to do that, because I saw certain companies not doing that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Nintendo has also told some publishing executives to not expect the console until March 2025 at the earliest. Like I said, my question to you, Forte, is how will this help this rumored Xbox refresh that's supposed to be coming out later this year, and the also rumored PS5 Pro coming out later this year? Because I was going to say that if the Switch 2 came out this year, it was bodying both of them. But it's not. So is that going to help the sales for those two pieces of hardware?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to help all three. If you kind of think about it, I think, yes, PlayStation and Xbox not having to deal with Nintendo during this holiday season, they would have been impacted, like you said, the most, due to the fact that you only have so much money to buy a 3 to 4, maybe 500 piece of hardware, depending on what direction Nintendo goes when it comes to power and everything. So you only got so much money to spend on that. Now, I will say the reason I say it's probably the best for Nintendo's going to sell no matter what. It gives them more time to build more of a buffer for their system and have more available for people on day one, especially during March, April, if they release in that time period. And then on top of that, so now once they get the system out there, it also gives them a second chance to sell a crazy amount of it during the holidays. Because let's be for real, when they come out with the system, if they released it say they released it this holiday, you're going to sell every system you're going to have no matter what. It's the holidays. People just usually buy up everything when it comes to like consoles and stuff, and there's none really anywhere to buy at that point, no matter what the console is for the most part. And that's going to be especially key for Nintendo. So they're going to sell out no matter whatever stock they have. For them, the biggest benefit is going to be next year. So you're going to sell out of all your Switches, whatever Switch 2, you're going to sell out of that in March and April. It's going to sell. You're not going to have any left over. And then you're going to have an even bigger sale when the holidays of 2025 come around. So you double dipped in 1 year compared to like looking at it like, oh, we can release it in November, December, sell a lot then. But then who knows how much stock you're going to be able to get back out into the world before the end of that fiscal year for them, which I think is in June or something like that. So maybe they only get one good shot during that quarter or during that fiscal year to do it, versus now you'll give yourself 2 shots at it. And then you'll have more hardware to like kind of, saturate the market throughout an entire year, versus just one time during the end of a year and then, not having a lot for the beginning of that next year or anything like that. So I think they own the market when it comes to that. And they're not in a hurry. They're still in pursuit of being the highest selling console ever. I think they're still going to sell regular Switches on top of this one. They're not going to discontinue.
You want to silence your phone?
Switch. Is that my phone doing that?
What did you think it was?
Oh, I thought that was yours. I just didn't say anything. When you got these headphones on. Listen, when you got headphones on, everything seems muffled, so it sounded like it was coming from your end of it. And I just didn't say anything. Okay, but thank you for saying that. I looked at my phone and I was like, oh yeah, my ringer's on. But yeah, that's what I think. I think it benefits Xbox and PlayStation the most, but Nintendo still can find something to gain from it because it gives them 2 shots at the apple cart over 2025 versus one big push for 2024. And it doesn't slow, and then it also doesn't slow down the momentum of them selling their console that they have out right now. Because I think once they announce this new system, they can forget about people buying it in droves. But I do think if they give it one more good holiday push, that they can sell a lot of Switches this year for the people that don't care about, the graphics and fidelity. They just want to get a really cheap entry system for what the Switch is. And they can still sell it at their normal price of $299 and $349, because let's be for real, Nintendo ain't dropping no prices until that new Switch comes out.
Yeah, and I do think this delay, whether it was meant to allow the Switch to get that done, I don't think they would have delayed it specifically just to give the Switch extra time to beat out PlayStation 2 as the most sold console. But I think for the reasons of the more important reasons of making sure that you have exclusive content available for this platform at its launch, that will end up being the eventual result, is that the Nintendo Switch will not have its potential hardware sales eaten into by the Switch 2, and it will turn out to be the most sold console before the Switch 2 launches. But since we're talking about that, there was a Nintendo Direct this week.
It was a great Nintendo Direct too.
Yeah, man. Nintendo gamers have got a lot to look forward to. Like, so much content. It's just amazing. And one of the things
made by them and their third party partners.
Really? Like, is there a particular game that you remember them showing?
Hey, remember when they stealth dropped Hi-Fi Rush last year in February or January, whenever they did it? Guess what? Nintendo was like, yeah, we got a stealth drop for you too. It's going to be Pentiment on literally the next day, which is today. They dropped Pentiment on the Nintendo Switch eShop store today.
Yeah, Pentiment. And this other game called Grounded, that I'm showing gameplay for right now.
And I think that's coming out in April.
Yeah. Pentiment is out right now. It came out today. Very good story. Obsidian definitely put their foot in it. Really good, awesome game. A little bit different of an RPG, but definitely something that I think that if you're into great stories in games, you might want to give it a shot. Clearly I ain't give it a shot on Xbox. Hey, give it a shot. Give it a shot on Switch, maybe. I don't know. I do think that even though it's a game that I enjoyed, I do not think it's going to matter that it's on these other platforms. I don't think it's going to sell. But that said, these games were revealed there, and interesting enough, these games are also coming to. Is Grounded coming to PlayStation? I can't remember.
Yes. The only one. Yeah, everything's going to PlayStation. The only game not coming to Nintendo is Hi-Fi Rush. And I think that's only because they're not that. And I think that's only because the Switch that they have currently isn't strong enough, because that game needs to run at 60 frames per second because of the rhythm base. I think they're saving that announcement to be announced when they come out with the new system.
Right. What now? Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation though in March, I think. So that's so. But I think they'll just delay the Switch version for hardware that could actually make sure it runs at a consistent frame rate. With that kind of game, with the level of rhythm and consistency that you need to make sure that you're hitting the prompts when you need to get the bonuses and damage in combat. You don't want that to be a hindrance for you, because the game is fluctuating between 15 to 30 frames per second.
Yeah, Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct partner showcase. You know what the word partner means, right, Slow-Mo?
Yeah. Third party partners. Yeah.
Third party partners.
So
which one of the big three manufacturers of consoles is considered at this point?
Yeah, and so my question to you, Forte, are you going to play any of these games on the Switch?
The funny thing, I will. I feel like.
Which ones?
Oh, I already bought Pentiment.
Yes, let's go.
And I did too. And I didn't buy it on, and I never. It's in Game Pass, and I never played it in Game Pass. It was like, that's.
Wait, hold up. Pause. Time out. Red card. Yellow flag on the field.
Go ahead. I'm part of the problem. You're right.
So.
Go ahead.
You had access to this game
from
Game Pass. Day one. You did not play it, but it shows up on the Switch, and day one you bought it.
I did. Day one. You want an explanation for that?
Yes, I need one.
The same reason why I played. Now, I actually did play Hi-Fi Rush day one. It was mostly due to the fact that it was more content than anything, because they announced it. It was a day and date game. They did it as a shadow drop, so the whole community was talking about it. So it was just easy to just jump in. And I remember I streamed that. I actually streamed it the moment it went live. I streamed it that day, and I haven't played it since then because I refuse to. It's like certain games I look at, and like Hi-Fi Rush, I feel like that game is going to do better and play better in handheld mode for me. Like I can pick it up and just play it whenever I want to play it. And that's kind of how Pentiment feels for me. Like, yes, you can play it on your TV, but it seems like a smaller experience where I don't have to like dedicate. Because I feel like if I'm going to sit down and play a game Slow-Mo, like on my couch or at my PC, I'm looking to dedicate 2 to 3 hours at most at that time to playing the game that I'm playing. And most of the time, those are shooters or maybe an RPG or something like that, something that I can get engrossed in that that I can only get that experience really playing on a TV. Whereas a game like Hi-Fi Rush and a game like Pentiment, I feel like I can play those games in like smaller doses and experience them like that. And it's only because it's on the Switch. It's only because of the Switch. It's all because of that. It's no other reason. It's only because it's the Switch.
So you got a phone, right? You got a phone, right?
I do have a phone.
Do you have the Xbox app on your phone?
I do.
Do you have
I'm not streaming it.
So you're not going to stream it?
No, I'm not going to stream it, bro. I will stream games.
I'm just saying you have access to this game in mobile form.
I'm not streaming it.
I mean, you've put so many limitations around. It just seems like it's
just I'm not streaming.
It just seems like it's available on Nintendo.
Would you stream it?
Well, no, I didn't need to because I played it on PC.
No, but if you wanted to play in a handheld mode, would you stream it?
No, I'm not the one making a crazy stipulation that I had to play it in handheld mode.
No,
so it doesn't matter to me. I played it on my PC.
Yes. How long is that game? Like 6 hours, 5 hours, something like that? It's not that long.
Pentiment, like 10, I think.
Oh, it's like 10. Okay.
I don't remember. It was good. It was good the whole time. So I wasn't really counting, but
So are you trying to tell me that I need to play Pentiment on my PC? Because I have it right here. I'm looking at it in the Xbox app.
I think people, if they really want to play something, they'll play it.
No, I agree. It just wasn't something. You got to also remember part of it is because I'm trying to like not use Destiny as every excuse, but I was still heavily playing Destiny at that time too. So a lot of games that I normally would have played or that were interest to me, I just wasn't playing because I was playing that every day. So that is also part of the reason why I didn't play Pentiment day one. But I mean, I understand, trust me, being a person that I know exactly where this conversation was going to go when I told you.
So you had, what we're saying is that you thought about it and you was like, oh, I want to play Pentiment now. And you had access to it already.
And I spent
and
money
you still spent more money on it over on Nintendo.
I did.
Fascinating. Very fascinating.
Installed it and looked at it for like, and looked at it on. Well, it just happened to be busy at work today, so I didn't get a chance to like really play it yet. But yeah, I bought a eShop card right there in the store. I had some trade credit and I bought some eShop currency and I went into the eShop and I purchased the game and I do not regret it.
The chat is killing you and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
But guess what? I'm honest though.
Hold on. I love the honesty. Now I want you to honestly answer me these other questions. Okay, outside of pit. So you beat Hi-Fi Rush, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, you beat that. You play Sea of Thieves?
8 hours. I refuse to play that game.
Okay, so you're not getting that on PlayStation and Switch.
No, I'm definitely not playing. I enjoyed my 8 hours of that game, but I also know I'm not about to go back in there and try to experience that game again. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff in there, but I will leave the 8 hour experience that I had when that game first came out as the 8 hour experience that it was.
What was the fourth game? Grounded. Have you played Grounded?
Grounded. I played it on Xbox. Yeah, I played it when it was still in early access.
All right, you're gonna play it on.
I haven't played the full version of it.
Oh, okay. So are you gonna play the full version on non-Xbox consoles? Okay.
No. I'm not interested in that game. The only reason I'm interested in Pentiment is because of Obsidian. that's the only real reason that you talk about it so glowingly, and I try to take some of your recommendations when it comes to games, because I've been interested in it. I just didn't.
Well, I didn't talk glowingly of Grounded.
Not Grounded. No, I'm talking about a Pentiment.
Yeah. I really enjoy Pentiment. I recommend that game.
Is this gameplay that you went back and just recorded, or just from the original moment?
No, I went back and recorded it. Oh, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, because let me talk about how the Xbox app is absolute garbage on PC. So this game has been out a year, right? And I decided,
Lucius says Forte is why Xbox is going to die as a platform. No, look at my gamer score. I have over 100,000 gamer score. I gave Xbox my time, and I'll continue to give Xbox my time. I just
not recently.
Listen. No, it's no cap. I try to, dude. Listen, when I make videos and I talk about the things I talk about, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was engrossed in Destiny.
Okay, we're not going to talk about Destiny no more.
No, there's nothing else I wanted to play. Slow-mo knows that with 100% facts. I would skip over games that I would normally play, like to the point where I haven't even beat. Like, Mass Effect is my favorite franchise of all time. I have not.
Forte, that doesn't change the fact you decided to willingly buy a game on another platform you already had available on the platform that it struggled on, that you had and didn't play. That's why they coming at you. It ain't because you were a Destiny whore for years. It's not because of that. It's because of what you did today.
But I would have bought it up. But see, that's the thing, though. I would have bought if it was available. Well, it's available to buy. If this was the road,
it's available to buy on Xbox.
It's available to buy on Xbox.
There's no way out of this. I don't know what you're trying to do. It's not working, man.
I'm just saying, if the roles were reversed, I would have bought it on Xbox. It's just a simple fact that at that time, I had the ability to, and this is the whole thing. When you have Gamepass, you're not going to buy the games. Like, why would you pay for a game that you can just play inside of Gamepass when it comes out? Why? Nobody's going to do that.
But you'll buy the game on the Switch.
Just like Call of Duty.
But you'll buy the game on another platform.
Here, you want to know a hot take, Slow-mo? You want to know a hot take, Slow-mo? This is a hot take. When Call of Duty releases and they start putting those games day and date in Game Pass, if they do, Call of Duty will no longer be the most highest selling game of the year.
But you'll buy it on a PlayStation, though, right?
No, heck no. Why?
I'm messing with you because it's what you've done here. It's what you've done.
One time. I didn't buy any other game. I bought this game. I'm not gonna. I bought Pentiment, and I'm gonna buy Hi-Fi Rush because those games seem like they fit the PlayStation, the Nintendo ecosystem, and you know it. You know it. And everybody in this chat know it too.
Did you buy Hi-Fi Rush on Xbox?
Nobody's bought Hi-Fi Rush.
No, I asked you, did you buy Hi-Fi Rush on Xbox? You about to buy it on the Nintendo?
No, but guess what?
Okay.
I beat it on. But guess what? I don't have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, gaming Forte.
Because Xbox gave it to us for the amount of our subscription fee.
I'm messing with you, man. I know
you are. We're having fun. I'm actually having fun with the chat. This is like really, really cool. But I'm always going to be honest, bro. It's like certain games work better in certain ecosystems, and Hi-Fi Rush is going to be an amazing game on the Switch where you can play it on the go. Same thing with Pentiment. It's on a smaller screen, so it's a smaller experience. So you don't have to be on a giant TV to do it.
Like a phone and Nextcloud. Yeah.
Oh my God. Move on. Like, you know what? I hear this happening. You know what? I'm going to prepare myself. I know we're going to talk about this on Scumcast with Luca. Luca's going to be like, are you serious? You literally bought this game and you could have been playing it the whole
ribs.
time?
My ribs hurt. I've been laughing so hard.
I hope they fall out. I'm talking all this mess. Oh my god. Lucy's Augustus says Forte will still make an excuse when he gets an Xbox handheld. Listen, if there was an Xbox handheld, this would be a it would be an easy decision. I'll just play it that way. You know what? Part of me feels, I will say this. And this is no cap. If I would have went out and bought that ROG Ally, like I was thinking about, I would have probably never bought this on PC. I would never bought that on PC. I would never bought it on Switch.
So you're saying that you're giving your money for Xbox games to non-Xbox platforms because they don't have a handheld?
Yeah, because I like handhelds. I do. I love handhelds.
Well, hey, maybe that's why the rumors that we're hearing are what they are.
Well, and that would be a good thing if they actually did do it. And I think a lot of people, and the thing is, I think a lot of those smaller experiences like a Pentiment and like a Hi-Fi Rush will get even more adoption because I think people will download them to play them more in a handheld fortune than they will when they sit down at their TV. Not saying that they wouldn't play them on their TV because look, I played like a couple, like the first day it came out, I played like 6 hours of Hi-Fi Rush when it first came out. But a lot of people will play even more of it if they have the option to like play it wherever they want to, like Xbox's whole plan is. And handheld mode would be pretty incredible for a lot of the games that they make.
Okay.
I lose this fight though because you're right. I did go. I didn't think about that till I said it, but I'm just not going to lie to you guys. It's just how it is. It happened.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate y'all though. It doesn't change the fact that you're an Xbox fan though. It doesn't change.
I hope you enjoy Pentiment. Great story. Hope you enjoy it on your Nintendo Switch, man. Yeah. So moving on. There was also, I think, was this today? No, this is yesterday, right?
It was yesterday when they announced it. Man, that's when I called you. You ain't answer the phone. I called you right after the reveal of the trailer, and I was going to say, bro, this looks good.
And what he's talking about is Shadow of the Erd Tree, the long-awaited DLC for Elden Ring. It looks freaking amazing. I can't wait. It's coming out. They had a date, June. It's coming out June, and it is based off of like I watch a lot of lore videos on Elden Ring, and they kind of based off the name had already figured out that it was going to be about Mikola, the demigod that is. Well, they kind of showed that egg and the arms laying out of it. That's Mikola. And he's like in the form of a child. All the demigods in Elden Ring, they all kind of they all have an affliction. Like Milena or Millennia, whatever her name is, the one that bodied all of us, 5,000 times before we finally killed her.
The whole community crying, basically.
Yeah, she's afflicted with scarlet rot. Like they all have some kind of affliction, and Mikola's affliction is that he was forced to have the appearance of a child the entire time. It looks like that has lore-wise his half brother kidnapped him and did some things to him to try to cure him of his affliction. Well, it looks like it didn't really do that, but the game looks amazing. The the art style is showing through and through from Software yet again. They're supposed to have like 10 new bosses to fight. There are new weapons they highlighted in the trailer. Those new weapons come with new combat styles that I can't wait to get into. I've platinumed Elden Ring on PlayStation and also have it on PC for the mods and stuff. I have it unlocked frame rate and all that good stuff. This really got me thinking about some new builds and stuff, because I create 4 different characters with 4 different builds: a dexterity build, a strength build, a faith build and an intelligence build, and I might just go do some other things now to play around with all these new weapons that they have available. But this is going to be, in my opinion, if this delivers on expectations, and it's from Software, so it likely will, I think this will be treated the way Phantom Liberty was treated last year. And what I mean by that is Phantom Liberty was so good, and it's from a media darling developer, CD Projekt Red, that games media was treating it as if it was a standalone game, nominating it in categories they ain't got no business being nominated in, and that's no shade to Phantom Liberty because it was excellent, but shouldn't be up against other standalone games and award shows. And I feel like Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be this year's Phantom Liberty because it's going to be doing the same exact thing. Forte, what are your thoughts on it? Like, are you never really played the Elden Ring, right?
Well, no, I am going to jump in. I did buy it over the course of the holidays when it was on sale for like $14.99. We had it, so I bought it then. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for. I didn't know how the DLC was going to be introduced into the game. Was it going to be something that you had to go through the end game, or is it something you're going to be able to play like en route of playing the game? So my goal was to wait closer to the DLC comes out so I can see exactly how to play it. But seeing this just got me super excited. So I'm gonna have to play this a little earlier. And I'm gonna be calling you, be like, Slow-Mo, I need you to help me walk through.
What are you playing it on PC? What are you playing on? Don't pull a Taz. Shout out to Taz and be like, yeah, I'm gonna play. Okay, all right, well, yeah, I got it on PC. And I got this. I got this mod called Seamless Co-op because the co-op and sorry, look, I know From Software fans about to boo me, but sorry, like From Software sucks at co-op. It sucks. The experience is not great.
Wag your finger in the air.
Yeah, you can wave your finger in the air like you just don't care, and then you gotta look at some runes, and then you gotta read a tablet, and then you gotta give a password to someone, and they gotta put password in, and then they can see your runes, and then they can. It's stupid, but also as soon as you kill a boss or you're kind of stuck to a region, you can't go outside that region when you're in co-op, and as soon as you kill a boss, the person that's co-oping with you goes away, which I never really recommend doing that anyway, because especially if someone is a much higher level than you and you're both fighting a boss, that boss is scaled up to your buddy that you're co-oping with, not you. So you really are at a disadvantage when you co-op bosses. So, but regardless, there's a mod called Seamless Co-op that allows you to go everywhere that's in the lands between, which is the world. And if you kill a boss, it doesn't kick the co-op person out of the game. So it's the mods on PC are pretty good, so we'll have a good time with it. All that said, I think I think I can't wait for this. I think it's coming out at a great time too, because June is typically a slower time period as far as game releases goes, and I'm not going to feel guilty not playing something that I'm interested in playing, because I'm going to be stuck on this for a good month and a half. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think shout out to FromSoft. They announced today, either today or yesterday, that Elden Ring has shipped over 23 million units of the game, and they actually sold through 20.5 million to date. 20.5 million to date. So there's about 3 million, copies out there that people haven't bought yet. If, in my opinion, if you have not, and this is just giving some type of just when it comes to buyer information, if you have not purchased the game, purchase it soon, because when the DLC comes out, you ain't gonna find Elden Ring for less than $60 anywhere. Because right now you can find that game on Steam or any other place on sale for like $29, $39. If you're interested in this game and you're interested in the DLC, do not wait until the DLC comes out to buy the game, because you're going to pay full price for the game at that point. Whereas you could have got it for a lot cheaper if you do it now. I'll say you probably got about a good 2 months before, because the DLC drops in June. So no later than April, if you're interested in this game, go out and buy it. But shout out to them, man. That's like we talked about it earlier, man. Word of mouth is a mug, especially when it comes to the majority of people that bought this game aren't even into games like this. It's going to be a lot of buzz around this DLC, because this is just going to start that crave all over again. And I can't wait to see what people are talking about on Twitter again, because that was really fun when it was happening the first time around.
Yeah, I gotta remember how to play it again. I installed Elden Ring after looking at the trailer on. I still have it installed on PlayStation, but I installed it reinstalled it on PC, and I started to put the mods in. I was mostly just wanted to test out the unlock frame rate mod, but I very quickly remembered I don't remember how to play this game. And this is 4 different builds, 500 hours on PlayStation, platinum the game. Don't remember how to play. I'm barely beating just random mobs of enemies. And I'm just like, what the heck? I don't remember. So like I'm gonna play it more and increasingly more leading up to June, so I can kind of get my knock the rust off, get my feet wet, really get my head into the game before it comes out. But yeah, one quick thing I kind of noticed, and I'll say this before we move on to our final topic and transition over to the DPS channel, Forte. Hopefully you're ready.
Yep,
for that.
Already ready.
At the very end of the trailer, they show a woman who's glowing, and she's near the she's near the earth tree. I think, and this is just my speculation, I think that's Queen Marika, who is like technically kind of dead-ish in the base game. And I think it depends, because it's like talking to other From Software fans, they mostly say that a lot of the DLCs they do are not necessarily like in a chronological order, like take place after beating the game, but and more than likely you're going to be able to access this if you haven't beat the game already, once it's available at any time. Just going to the new area, which is supposed to be bigger than Limgrave, which is the biggest area in the game. King Metrotron says, no, that's Mikola. Mikola is, I believe, the redhead dude that you're fighting. I think that's Mikola. That also looked like a woman, King Metrotron. But I think there was also something in the lore that says that Mikola has transformed into a woman before. I can't remember. It's a lot of stuff. But all that said, we'll see how it turns out. I would love that for that to be Queen Marika, but we'll see. Forte, you ready to move on?
I am setting, getting this, click this, need more time to bring in this, creating the stream.
Because we about to be talking about the Call of the Duty. Oh, we're going to be talking about that and so much more. We do appreciate everyone that's here. And as we always say around this time period, not always, we've been only doing this for like a month now, but this is where we're going to transition over to the DPS channel. You don't need to manually make that switch over. What we do is we do a redirect. So you'll see the button pop up in the screen, in the screen, in the chat, and then you just hit that button and it'll take you over to the other stream, as we're trying our best to kind of build up our community that's on both our channels to the DPS channel, so that eventually we just have the show, the DPS podcast, on that channel exclusively every week. And
it's up.
it's up. All right, let me just go find that. And yep, there it is. Xbox need more time to bring Call of Duty titles to Game Pass. That's what you got?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so all set. So we're gonna hit that transition. Also, let me, Forte, can you take the link to the stream and put it in the chat so that we make sure that for the replay, people who are watching this on replay, they can just hit that link and switch over as well, because the redirect's not going to work for them.
Yep, I am doing that now. DPS damage per second podcast.
By the way, the gun I'm using in this footage, the BP50, love it.
Oh, really?
Not as good as the MCW or the WSP Swarm, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Link is coming. Yeah,
You know,
you
get in YouTube Studio, you can just hit the little share button and get the link.
Now I know. All right, I'm sharing it in.
And knowing it's
half the battle.
Yeah.
Hey, what did that come from? Do you remember?
G.I. Joe. I mean, what else?
Ever.
What else would it come from?
One of the greatest days ever. There it is. And dropping in your chat. Sup, Big Mike? You're the last person that's going to be in there before it comes.
Boom. Cool. All right, let's do this.